It wasn't that bad either.
Bullshit. The train for a fucking hour. Go to the fucking
Alright, you guys. Of course, I got to roll this one, so it's going to take me a second. Y'all already know what I'm going to say because I just said this same stuff to you guys earlier, like about a couple of hours ago, actually. But I still had to update my YouTube videos. So if y'all don't want to, y'all don't have to sit in here for this one because I'm just doing a repeat of what I said earlier. Not exactly a repeat. I may rephrase some stuff or something like that, but I'm gonna finish rolling up and then we'll get to it, guys. I know y'all are always like, get to it already, but you know, it takes time. It takes time. This time it shouldn't take me as long, you guys, because this time I'm kind of already prepared. So, hello, how are you? Well, so yeah, I already got it all together for the most part. If my love over there would be so kind to hand me a cigar. Thank you, and he is kind enough to that. I'm just kidding, he's kind enough always. I don't want to even say it like that, like he's not, because he is, just so you know. Just trying to be humorous. Oh, see, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but. What do you got going on? Alright, I got my notebook over there too. Not necessarily that I need my notebook either, but with the new medications that I'm on, I'll have to look at it because I don't know what they're called yet. That what? Yes, this one over here. So I promise you guys I'm getting to it as soon as I finish rolling this one up. I'm gonna show you guys just so y'all can see I am doing something. I'm not trying to just sit here and not pay attention to anybody because I am paying attention. But this one I'm gonna put this one together a little bit quickly. I'm trying to talk while I'm doing it though, that way I can try to keep y'all at least slightly entertained while I'm working on getting this together. Um Also, I'm going to go ahead and say this at the beginning before we start talking about any kind of side effects of any medications. Just because there are side effects or possible side effects of a medication does not necessarily mean that you're going to get that side effect or that reaction. Is basically a what if. So and also, just because if I were to have a reaction to something, does not necessarily mean that you will if you're taking the same thing. So please be aware of that. Also, please keep in mind, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose and all that stuff. I'm just here to try to help educate on what I know through, what I'm going through. No, this is actually my second time taking the Depakote. This is just the first time taking the delayed release. We're almost there, guys. I know if y'all are patiently waiting on me. Also, yeah, I know y'all guys have missed me for a couple of days now, actually, but I think we're gonna start doing our videos for YouTube at least once or twice a week. Because I think right now I'm trying to do too much all at one time and I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm not gathering up the ideas that I need to for you guys. So some of y'all kind of know it gets boring up in here. So I'm trying to work on that for y'all. So please be patient with me if you do not see a video throughout the week. I still will post. I will still come on here. I promise you guys. I have not given up on you guys. It's just a lot for me to put all into one right now because I'm doing 4 different apps, you guys, at this moment. So it can be a little bit difficult with keeping up. Not that I don't want to keep all y'all informed and all that, but it's a little bit hard sometimes. All right, now we finally got that taken care of. It still kind of sucks, but it will work for what we need it to. All right. Since y'all have been waiting so patiently. All right, so right now I'm just going to go through the list of medications. 2 of them are ones that I was already taking currently before I went to this doctor. She just fixed them to where it's the right thing now. Um, so the first 2 on here are the Depakote, the delayed release. My previous neurologist switched them over to extended release for some reason because he thought the delayed release was too much for me. I never understood that, but they have fixed that today. As far as side effects, we'll get to that in a second once we go through the list of our medications. Um, I take 250 milligrams of the Depakote, the first one, and I'll take that twice a day. And the second Depakote is 500 milligrams, also delayed release, and I'll also take that one twice a day. And that is to add up to 750 milligrams. Once again, once in the morning, once at night. The 2 new ones on here, one of them is Effecture extended release, 75 milligrams once a day in the morning time. She said I can take that one with my Depakote. Also, you guys, if y'all are taking some of these medications and y'all have certain side effects or y'all are going through certain things, y'all make sure to leave that in the comments so that we know also. Once again, I will explain that just because somebody has a side effect does not necessarily mean that you're going to. Just because one person has one, you may experience none. Or this person may experience one and you may experience a whole list of things. It really it's different for everybody. So we can't quite go by that, you guys. And the second one that she had just put me on today is, I think it's called Buspar. If I'm not mistaken, this one was actually supposed to be taken off of market in 2012, I think. So I don't know if they like brought it back on the market or if they're not supposed to and they're still trying to use it. So I don't quite know how that goes, and I'll be taking 10 milligrams of that, and I'll also take that twice a day. So a lot of medication, you guys. Um, a lot of medication is going to be in my system. Also, I do want to ask a favor from you guys, just because I'm on here a lot of the time, or nearly every day, really. Um, when I start taking these new medications, which should be tomorrow, I'll let y'all know when I start taking them. But once I start taking these medications and about a week later, or at any point y'all notice any kind of change in my personality or stuff, y'all let me know so that I can be aware of this, so I can let my doctor know and stuff like that. For the most part, I really don't have to worry about that because I got my boyfriend over here, which he pays attention to that stuff. So it's not as much needed, but you guys watch me a lot more also. So if y'all see something that I do that's out of place or hear something that I say that's out of place that I normally wouldn't, please let me know so that we can make sure to address that because we don't want to be put on something that's going to harm me again, you guys. I'm strictly on here to show y'all my journey and to hopefully help somebody else down the road or along with me if I can. But now comes the kind of interesting part. Let's get to our lovely possible side effect. Once again, before I say this, feel like I gotta say it again. Just because somebody gets a side effect does not necessarily mean that you will. And yes, I'm even talking to myself right now because I have to remember this stuff too, because if not, I'll freak myself out. So this is mostly me saying it over again for myself, you guys. But just because one person experiences a side effect doesn't mean that we all will. Um, it doesn't necessarily mean we won't experience no side effects. We're all different. Once again, so as for the Depakote, I didn't really look that one up on side effects like I did with the other ones because I've already been taking the Depakote for over a year now and I already know how that one affects me. So I already wrote just the side effects that I go through from that. And it's really only three. There's not many of them. They're really not that bad either. Um, the first one is drowsiness. And honestly, you guys, for me, that didn't last very long at all. That maybe lasted about 2 weeks, maybe. And then that kind of started to go away a little bit. I do have hypersomnia also, so I sleep a lot all the time anyway, but it kind of made it a little bit extra where I slept all the time. So, but once again, that kind of went down a lot after like the 2 week period once it started to come up to therapeutic level. And the only reason she really wants me to stay on that one is because I do have epilepsy as well as the PNES. And she just thinks it'd be a bad idea to take me off of it since that's my only anti epileptic med left. Um, Also, you guys, before y'all say anything, yes, she is also in with neurology too, so she knows about that stuff also. She's not just a doctor that telling me to take these things and she don't know what she's talking about. Um, the next one that I had an issue with was weight gain. Once again, I've heard some people say that's hasn't really been an issue for them, but before I started taking the Depakote, I was 92 pounds. Um, about a week or so to 2 weeks after taking the Depakote, I went up to almost 130. I made a big jump. Um, Once again, on that one, it kind of went down a couple weeks. So it's not like that now. Now I'm not constantly gaining weight, as y'all can see. I'm still pretty small. And I'm actually going back to losing weight. I'm still eating the same and everything. So, and the last one for that one that I really have an issue with is hair loss. It's not so bad how y'all can see it right now because I've got it pulled back and I brushed it pretty good today. But if I brush some of my hair back, you can tell in certain areas where it's starting to thin out, like mostly right here in my and my hairline is starting to kind of thin out, and also like pull my hair back, and you can tell like over here is kind of where it's starting to recede. I don't have much hair over there, so it is kind of really thin now. I mean, I've never had super thick hair to begin with, but now my hair it's really thin. Um, that is only that one's really the only side effect that I still go through with that medication. Um, Sometimes my stomach will get a little upset if I don't eat before taking it. Um, but other than that, I haven't really noticed any major side effects. It doesn't make me angry. It doesn't make me all that. So far it's been a pretty decent medication for me. Um, it's the same with the other Depakote because they're the same thing. They're just a different dosage. One's higher than the other. Um, the next medication we're going to talk about is the Buspar. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think it's Buspar. It could be Buspar, but I think it's Buspar. Um, it's I think that's the generic name of it because once again, you guys, I'm not a doctor, so I can't pronounce all those long words. So I try to make it easy for us and go by the generic name. Um, so Buspar, the first one is headache. I usually deal with headaches anyway with my seizures, including the PNES. So that one's not that that doesn't concern me too bad unless if it's like one of those headaches where oh my goodness, I feel so much pressure. Yeah, unless it's like a migraine, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like unbearable. But if it's just a headache, I think I can deal with that. Um, The next one is dizziness and drowsiness. This one kind of comes with all mood stabilizers, kind of. Not all stabilizers. I want to kind of correct that. But a majority of them will have that side effect or can have that side effect. So once again, with the hypersomnia stuff, the drowsiness kind of kind of concerns me a little bit because I don't want to literally sleep all the time. I already do that. So I don't want to take something that's going to make me sleep like that. Um, Once again, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen, so I don't need to be making up excuses not to take it. And I'm going to go ahead and explain that before we get to the next one, you guys. Please do not stop taking your medication as prescribed by your doctors. There's a reason why they give them to you. Um, Also, if they give you medication, please take them. There's a reason that they give them to you. Um, a lot of it is basically trial and error, which is what I had a problem with understanding for the longest, really, and I still kind of do to some extent, but I'm finally starting to learn. Um, with these treatments and stuff, it's not an automatic fix. It's not guaranteed to fix the problem. It's it's like a stepping stone to try to help to solve the problem. And right now we're kind of in that trial and error. We're hoping that this is going to help based on my symptoms and stuff, but she really don't know. Um, and she said if I had any of these bad side effects, to just let her know and we'll switch over to a different med. So that being said, on to the next one. The next one is insomnia, which is the opposite of hypersomnia. insomnia means that you can't sleep, which, as a person who sleeps all the time, I feel like that maybe can benefit me as long as it doesn't make it like that where I can't sleep throughout the night. So to me, for me, I feel like that one maybe can be a positive side effect. I don't know. Um, the next one is nausea and upset stomach. Um, so with that being said, I may want to eat before taking them. Um, that's not necessarily the case, but I feel with a lot of these medications that say they have those kind of side effects or can, it's best to eat first before taking them, at least until you know how it's going to affect you. Um, if you if you eat and then you take it and it still upsets your stomach, then maybe that's something that y'all should address. But mm, I don't feel like that might be too big of a big deal. But the Depakote kind of already makes my stomach upset, so I'm kind of nervous about that. My stomach gets pretty sensitive to certain things, so that one and the drowsiness kind of makes me the most concerned. And the last one for this one wasn't much of a long list either. The last one for this one is feeling nervous or excited, which I do a lot of now. Um, so that doesn't really bother me too much now, I don't think, unless if they mean that it can aggravate my tick. That that would probably be a concern. But those that have tick or a tick disorder, y'all probably know that feeling nervous or excited and stuff like that can actually set them off. So I guess that one kind of makes me a little bit nervous too. Okay, I'll have to try that. Thanks. You mean because it keeps going out? Because that definitely does keep getting annoying. But thank you for the suggestion, though. Um, and now we're on to the last medication that she put me on. This one kind of has a longer list of side effects, you guys. So I don't quite know how I feel about this yet. Um, the very first one that was on there is nausea. So once again, that kind of tells me I may want to eat before taking this one. Um, the second one, once again, is dizziness and drowsiness. Uh, that kind of makes me nervous. I already have issues walking sometimes. Um, so I really don't want to have to worry about getting dizzy like that. I mean, a plus is I have my walker if I need it, but the negative would be I would have to use it because as y'all can see right now, I don't use it. It is not near me. It's in the spare bedroom. And moving on, the next one is dry mouth. As a smoker, I kind of deal with that anyway, so that doesn't really concern me too much. And also, since I'm a denture wearer and I don't have my natural teeth anymore, I kind of get a lot of saliva. So that one may benefit me as well. That one may be a positive side effect for me as well. So we don't know. Oh, sorry guys. Um, the next one on here is constipation. Once again, my stomach's kind of already is sensitive. Since I don't have my teeth, it's already kind of hard to eat certain fibers like I'm supposed to eat. It's hard to eat nuts. It's hard to eat. It's hard to eat certain fruits and stuff. It's hard to eat certain vegetables unless it's cooked. But me being a picky person, I don't like cooked vegetables or stuff like that. So, I mean, I barely like vegetables, but the vegetables that I do like, I like them raw. I don't like them cooked, like such as celery. And for someone with no teeth, celery is pretty hard. I can't eat that. Which has water in it, and I don't drink a lot of water, so that that can be pretty healthy. It's hard for me to eat apples, all kind of stuff like that. I'm gonna go into that in a different video because I feel like I'm dragging this one on a little bit, and I'm moving on to a different topic really. So we'll go into that more into another video. Um, and the next one on here is loss of appetite. That one I may have an issue with if it becomes a side effect for me, only because I have an issue with keeping my weight up, and since it goes up and down so much, it's kind of on a scale. So I kind of feel if it is, I feel like that would be a bad side effect for me if so. The next one is blurred vision. Once again, you guys, I already kind of deal with that. That's why I wear my glasses sometimes. They are prescription lenses. Only one of them is actually, which y'all can't tell, but it's only this one. This one isn't a prescription lens. This one's just a plain lens. This one is, but I already kind of have issues with that, so that's kind of not a big deal. I can just put my glasses on if I have such a big problem with it. Or I can just go back to my eye doctor and we can discuss it, or we can just discuss it to my new doctor. The next one is nervousness. Once again, I deal with that all the time anyway, so that doesn't really concern me too much. The only thing that it concerns me about is with my ticks, because when I get nervous or excited or upset or any of that, they start to become really pronounced and really noticeable. And sometimes I get bad enough to the point I'm bruising myself and stuff like that. So they can get quite aggressive when I get nervous and stuff. So that one would be a bad side effect if it's the case. Um, the next one is trouble sleeping. Once again, with the hypersomnia, it would it would seem to me like that would maybe be a positive side effect for me. Um, unless if it causes issues sleeping during the night. But if it just causes issues with sleeping all the time, then that's fine because I do that anyway. Um, the next one kind of bothers me. It is unusual sweating. Um, kind of gross. I don't even like talking about it on camera. I don't even like talking to my old man about it. It makes me that uncomfortable. But I am trying to also help educate you guys as well. Um, I usually sweat a lot anyway. Not really because I'm that active or because I'm doing a certain something or anything like that. It's just because I get stressed out and stuff like that. Um, so it can usually be pretty bad for me already. So that one kind of makes me cringe a little bit because uh I don't want that to become an issue. I already have that issue and it's very uncomfortable already. Um and the last one pretty much is really no big deal. Is yawning. Um Everybody does that already, so I don't feel like that's an issue. Um Maybe it could be annoying, but I don't really think it would cause anything medically. Once again, I'm not a doctor, you guys, so I can't actually say that it can't cause nothing medically, but I don't think it will, you guys. Um, so I don't quite see a big issue if that becomes one of the side effects. There was one warning with this medication, which is it may raise the blood pressure. As a person who already deals with severe anxiety and depression and also a conversion disorder, I already deal with high blood pressure a majority of the time. So that one may be dangerous if that were to become an issue because mine already gets up into the 140s over like 90s, which is pretty high for me. Um, the bottoms is not too bad, but the 140s is pretty high for me. My normal is like around 118 to 125, and even 125 is still kind of pushing it for me. So that one is really the main thing on this whole list that concerns me the most because let's say that I already have a day where I'm dealing with high blood pressure and this becomes an issue for me and it raises my blood pressure more. That could be really dangerous, you guys. That could wind up giving me a heart attack or something. So I think I'm just scaring myself. I need to stop it. But that does make me nervous, y'all. I don't like the sound of that, but going to this new place, I don't feel like they are trying to put me in harm's way. I don't feel like they're just trying to put me on medication for the money. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know that. But the feelings that they gave me, they didn't make me feel like that. They didn't make me feel like, oh, we're going to shove this pill down your throat or you have to take this or none of that. It's just, hey, if you want to get better, I'm going to give you an option. Um, if not, you don't have to take this option. We can choose something else. But right now, as I said, it's basically a trial and error right now. So I trust them. I trust them at the moment. Nothing is nothing is promised at this point. Like we're gonna put you on this medication and it's gonna work right away, or this medication's even gonna be right for you. It's just it sounds like it may work for you. We don't quite know that. We don't really know what's going on with you. Um, we do know that you're super anxious, but you're already on mood stabilizer, so we don't see why you're so anxious. Um, so it keeps going back in that whole circle of we don't know what's wrong with you. Which I kind of got the impression when I first went in because we first addressed my tics because we figured she could help with those since she also has knowledge in neurology or has a degree in that field or whatever. Um, but I didn't even think it had anything really neurological. I think it is part of my conversion disorder because I haven't had any more seizures ever since taking the new mood stabilizers. My seizures have became tics. So we don't know that it's not neurological, but I honestly don't feel like it is. But she doesn't want to deal with them at all right now. She doesn't want to risk it. Um, so she wants my neurologist to still deal with that. My neurologist doesn't want to deal with me anymore because he can't help me. I do still go back to him January the 20th on my love's birthday, but that is supposed to be my last visit, really. Um, he said that he would consider putting me into a movement specialist. And that way we can try to reteach myself to think in a different way besides instead of having our tics or so not to necessarily stop the tick but to make it more manageable where I can go out into public, you guys, and not make it a problem. Right now, it's kind of a problem. Even in the grocery store, I will get nervous, and I think it was like the last 2 or 3 times I have gotten so excited and so nervous that I have nearly threw stuff on the ground, and it kind of upsets me because I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, you know? Like, oh, I don't want to throw this in the floor, but the more that I think about it, the more that my arm wants to throw it across the room. And I mean, sometimes I can tell myself no, and it'll kind of, I mean, I'll still kind of have that little tick going. I'll have that urge, but I won't throw it across the room then. Um, I'm able to at least tell myself no enough to kind of gently take it to the table and sit it down. And then once I sit it down, it spazzes out and then I fling my arms and stuff. Um, so I can get pretty frustrating. So that kind of frustrates me that they're not going to do anything about that until January. Um, I'm sure if it becomes too much more of a problem, we can just call my neurologist and set it up like, hey, this is really bugging me. Um, he told me if it got to that point just to go to the ER, but you guys, you guys, someone with conversion disorder and stuff, and even epilepsy, and you're being sent there all the time, that's not the option you want to go for. Even if my ticks are bothering me, guys, I don't want to go up there. Um, especially the closest hospital. Um, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to look at me like I'm stupid. They're going to ask me why I'm there, seeing that I'm ticking and stuff, just like they did when they saw half of my face sagging down. Um, but they would just sit there and look at me like I'm stupid. So there's really no need for me to go up there if I have a tick attack, as some people call it, or they get they get too bad where they're affecting my daily life like that, which is they kind of been calming down lately, but when I'm nervous and excited, they get up there. Um, when I went to see my counselor, I even threw my phone in the floor. Um, this time when I went to see my doctor, I was once again I was close to throwing my phone in the floor, but we were able to sit my phone down beside me and stuff like that. So it was no big concern. Um, it does make me feel good that she is aware of what's going on, and you know she's concerned about me enough to want it taken care of. Um, she's not just sitting there telling me I'm crazy, or she's not making me feel like I'm crazy. She is confirming that she knows something is going on, that we need to get it dealt with, but I got to have we got to have more than one doctor work on this, and it kind of annoys me so much. And some people don't really understand this, but when you go to the doctor all the time, it gets stressful. And we're still kind of back at square one. I'm back at having to see new doctors. Now back to having to find the right doctors. Multiple at that. Um, I'm also still going through the phase of losing my neurologist once again. Although I have epilepsy, I'm still losing him. That's because it's not that big of an issue, not because he doesn't want to help me and stuff like that. Um, so I'm still going through a lot of different things. We're still going through the trial and error of different medications. I'm going from now two medications to we have now doubled that. So now on four medications. Um, so now I have to readjust. Um, I don't know how I'm gonna feel on these medications. I don't know what kind of effect I'm gonna have. I don't know if there's gonna be any at all, which that would be great if there's not. But usually with these medications, there is at least one. Um, it's a lot of nervousness. It makes me nervous. Um, I'm not gonna try to talk myself out of it this time because I know that we have to do something about it. It can't just stay like it is. I mean, it can, but it can't. Not unless if I want to wind wind up in a wheelchair or wind up in a coffin or wind up in a nursing home. Um, which yes, they even send us young people to a nursing home too. Um, they have even talked about when I lived with my mother, that was getting to that was their last option. That was their last resort is to stick me in a nursing home because I can't take care of myself, you guys. Um, not necessarily that I can't take care of myself, that I'm not technically mentally there. Um, I'm aware of what's going on around me for the most part, but not always. Um, I'm not always here. Um, I am here physically, but emotionally, I'm off somewhere else. So it's really difficult. But we are going to go ahead and come close to an end on this one because we are near an hour now. And I am coming to the end of our topic. I don't want to start boring people. But thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope that this has helped somebody or this will help somebody. And I hope that y'all continue to stick with me. And I appreciate you all.